think about a real life example of a creator that has come on and kind of the scope of need and service that we'll deliver, it starts with, this creator I have in mind was doing 4 million plus in top line revenue. No separation of church and state in terms of personal and business banking. So everything's going through a personal banking account. They're paying, vendors and editors and family through PayPal. They're not taking any tax deductions. They're not keeping books. They don't have a legal entity. They're not making any type of estimated tax payments. They don't have health insurance. And I think the thing that probably motivates a lot of folks to reach out to us is they have some privacy concerns around, their whereabouts being known to the public, them being doxxed or swatted, or having kind of unscrupulous fans, pay them a visit at their home or place of residence. So we always start at the bottom, which is, can we separate church and state? Can we set up a business banking account, all income going into this account, all expenses coming out of the account? Can we then set up, a bookkeeping service of sorts to make sure that we have an accurate picture of the P&L? If the numbers are big enough, is a legal entity required? Usually it's an LLC with an S election to make sure we can kind of play the payroll tax game, working with their accountant. If they don't have one, introducing an accountant to make sure that they kind of satisfy reasonable wage standards, setting up tax shelters. So, solo 401k, SEP IRA, potentially even cash balance or pension plans, getting them health insurance. A lot of times it's just going through, Affordable Care Act exchanges and making sure that they have at minimum catastrophic coverage, especially if it's not during an open enrollment season. And then where we really differentiate ourselves is going back to my earlier point about the Swiss Army knife of finance, our willingness to get into the weeds of real estate acquisition, mortgage sourcing, privacy trust planning. For this particular client, actually had a couple of fans visit their house and actually some issues of violence surrounding that. And so when they were buying a home, they wanted to know, how can we protect this from public record? So it's finding a lender that will, record in an LLC or a trust. It is helping them form said privacy trust. It's getting a third-party trustee appointed on that so the client doesn't have any connectedness to it on public record, and just hand-holding them through that process, because this is something that they've never been through, probably will never go through again. We'll even go as far, and I've done this for a few folks, where I will get the property under contract for them with an assignment clause. I'll assign it over to the LLC as, we move through escrow. So then you get to the fun stuff after, because a lot of times it's a sense of urgency of, you have a content creator who gets a tax notice or is buying a house and needs something done immediately. Then you onboard them, and then you get to the fun stuff, which is saving them tax dollars, putting money to work, cash management, diversifying their assets, asset location, educating them on, time horizons and risk and what a prudent portfolio will look like for them. So in some ways, it's a scope of any type of normal client. But a lot of times, because of how busy and in demand and stretched their attention spans are, they want to delegate as much as possible onto you, and you need to be set up in a way that you can kind of meet every particular need that they might send your way.